Oh, yeah. Welcome to College Game Night, the best post-game show that the state of Oregon has to offer. I'm your host, Brian Salmon, and joining me, as always, former Duck fullback Juan Shedrick and former Oregon State assistant coach Jay Shockey, the governor. And, guys, today was the 115th Civil War, and Juan, really, it wasn't much of a fight, was it?
No, it wasn't much of a fight. It's one team who's fully loaded against a team, who's injured a little teeny bit.
That's right. Oh, he didn't take his first shot. That wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and check out highlights of the Oregon State Beavers and the Oregon Ducks from Autzen Stadium entering the game. Oregon had won 7 of 8 games at Autzen Stadium. So, Jay, was there any reason to believe that Oregon State was going to come out and fight and win this game? Because it's a rivalry game, right?
Yes, there was a reason that they would come out and fight
Absolutely.
and fight and maybe not be able to win it, but you would have expected them to have a good showing here, at least emotionally.
I agree with that as well, and they started out with some emotion, not necessarily the best emotion, as Teron Ward called for a personal foul in the very first series of the game, and then you see Sean Mannion picked off by Michael Clay. Juan, Michael Clay has had a great season this year, hasn't he?
Oh, he's had a great season. He's been a part of that Duck defense that every week has gotten better.
And the thing that the Oregon State did is just what they couldn't do is go give Oregon a short field and turn the ball over and have 2 or 3 penalties early in the first quarter.
And that's exactly what they did on the first 2 possessions. You saw LaMichael James score from 1 yard out to make it 7-0. And then Sean Mannion threw his second interception of the day to Kiko Alonso. But then Oregon State showed a little bit of life. Look at Javon Stevenson. He's actually come on in the last few games for the Beavers.
Yeah, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns last week against Washington, and they had a nice run and after the catch for the only score.
58 yards on that play there, so it was 7-7. So the Beavers were in this game, and the announcers who were on television talking about this game is going to be close. And, it was for about 3 minutes until this drive. And DeAnthony Thomas, Juan, are you still amazed at what you're able to see him do? Because every week it's something else. DeAnthony Thomas just looking so good.
At any given time, he can do whatever he wants to do.
He's like a video game. And David Paulson, the tight end, the senior tight end, in my opinion, the best hands in the country as a tight end, with the touchdown reception from Darren Thomas, who covered 16 yards. It was 14-7. LaMichael James showing that power, that toughness. The Beavers reaching at the ball. They could not get the ball out of his hands. A nice long run by LaMichael. And then it's Kenyon Barner. It's just one weapon after another for the Ducks.
Oregon has too many weapons, and they just spread the wealth out all day long. And Oregon State looked like they were just a step slow all day.
Chip Kelly said that he was not aware that DeAnthony Thomas was as good of a receiver as he is or has become for the Ducks entering, his freshman season. But you saw the touchdown reception by DeAnthony, 8 yards. Covered there, 21-7, and again, David Paulson. David Paulson is a great security blanket for Darren Thomas, isn't he, Juan?
Yeah, and he's also a hard guy to cover.
He is. He gets behind a lot of linebackers, as does Kenyon Barner coming out of the backfield. 16 yards on that touchdown reception. So 28-7. After the game was tied at 7 apiece, they would go into the third quarter with that score. And then you see the touchdown pass here to DeAnthony Thomas again, and then it's Kenyon Barner. He will score from 1 yard out. I'm sorry, it was Kenyon Barner with the 16-yard reception, then Kenyon Barner with a 1-yard touchdown. So really, the Ducks were up 35-7, doing their thing until, Juan, again, the elbow, LaMichael James. This time he kind of just hyperextends that left elbow.
Yeah, he does, and you feel bad for a guy who's been hampered with an injury all season, and then all of a sudden, hurts, the opposite arm.
And then here, Jay, Kenyon Barner looking to go in and really just put this thing way out of reach, and then they get the fumble.
Yeah, that was the end of a 14-play drive. The Oregon just took the ball down the field and did a really nice job, but they caused a fumble there. Oregon State did and turned the ball over.
And this is what Oregon State did with the ball. First, you see the sack by Rolling Live with 45, Terrell Turner, who's jumping on the back of Baseka Lacumbo, who had a sack as well. And then Darren Thomas with the ball in the fourth quarter. This to a true freshman, Colt Ayerla. Nice catch, nice run, 39 yards for the score, 42-7. The Ducks were just rolling and putting on points on the board, but Sean Mannion showed a little bit of resolve in this game and didn't quit. Threw a couple touchdown passes here. This is something to look forward to next season.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Beavers did not quit, and you wouldn't expect them to. They've got class, they've got character, and they want to do well, and so they're going to come out and fight. And they end up scoring 2 touchdowns late But they were really basically, the game was over early in the fourth quarter.
You're right. Kevin Cummings caught a touchdown to make it 42-14. Then that final play, 49-21 after Brandon Cooks caught one from 23 yards out. Darren Thomas, a great game, 294 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's done a very good job of protecting the ball for the Oregon Ducks. And Sean Mannion, on the other hand, for the Oregon State Beavers, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. After the game, our game night reporter Jake Zivin was there and has reaction from the winning team.
It was maybe the most civil war in recent years. The 49-21 scoreline doesn't even accurately portray the Ducks' domination. The second-teamers were in by the beginning of the fourth quarter, and maybe because of that, this didn't feel like a rivalry game. There wasn't the electricity in the stadium that there normally is during a civil war. Still, some Ducks were happy to beat their rivals.
It means everything. Bragging rights for another year. Can go to Corvallis, show my face, take my hat off, and be happy about it.
I'm glad that we got it for Eugene. Told the guys earlier this week that we want to win it for Eugene. It's more than just a regular game. It's a big game for me. It's a big game for the team. Ever since I got here, a lot of people have told me about this Civil War game, and it means a lot to the fans. So I'm happy that we came out and get the victory.
From a Duck perspective, the attack was balanced. After a slow start from the offense, everything clicked, and the Beavers were blown away.
One big play leads to another big play, and you see Darren, when he can get settled, when he gets into a rhythm, I think everybody starts to kind of settle down, and he starts putting the ball on people, and that's what, you know, with the guys, when we get it somewhere in the range of our guys, they got pretty good hands, and they're going to come up with the ball.
We're just a resilient team. Our coaches as well as our players were very resilient. We let nothing get in the way of what our goal is, and we lost last week, but that was last week. We knew coming back this week we had an Oregon State team that's always they always give us a tough game, and we knew we had to be on our toes for them.
LaMichael James again injured his elbow during an awkward fall. This time, his left elbow. It came in the third quarter, but it wasn't nearly as bad as that dislocated elbow that he suffered in the Cal game earlier this year. LaMichael showed off that he still has plenty of flexibility in that elbow in the post game and said he could have gone back into the game if his team needed him to. In Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Jake Zivin for College Football Game Night.